Stop making these mistakes so you can start catching big fish on a neko rig. When it comes to my finesse fishing, one of my favorite rigs to catch not just a number of fish, but also big fish all throughout the year is going to be a neko rig. And if you don't know what that is, that's going to be a wacky hook through the middle of a straight tail worm that has a nail weight in the head that you fish on the bottom of the water column. And it just looks like something kind of bouncing off or pecking at the bottom of your water. But these are the little things I learned in Korea to make this more effective. This is a zoom trick worm, which is a great option for neko rigging. It's a nice big profile, but it has that slim profile that you need to fish as effectively. However, when it's super pressured or the bass aren't just biting, I like to go to smaller worms like this one. This is a robo worm. This is the 4.5 inch size. The smaller worms just need a smaller hook and a smaller weight, but these smaller worms get bit. And when it comes to rigging the neko rig, I like using a wacky rig hook. You can use a weedless one if you like. I necessarily find that you don't need it that much because with our line tie going this way, if the worm is protecting it, you're not going to be snagging too much. And when it comes to the nail weight that we use in this rig, I like to go as light as possible. That's a 1/16, 3/64. The reason for that being is that one, we're only using these small worms, so we don't need a lot of weight to come crashing down with. However, on a lighter nail weight, when we cast this out, that slow spiral fall that you get out of a worm with a nail weight in it is killer, and you actually get a lot of bites on the fall with this rig. But also, if you're worried about losing your nail weights and them falling out of your worm, what I like to do is actually hold them with a pair of pliers and just lightly warm up the nail weight. Not till it's red hot, just warm enough, because when I go to put this in my soft plastic, the plastic will actually melt around that nail weight and kind of form to the nail weight and keep it from falling out. You can also put a dab of super glue in the nail weight to put it in, but I like them lighter, and now you have that nail weight all the way buried in there. Now, how do we fish this thing? The big thing with the neko rig to remember is that this is not for covering water. While you can kind of drag it and hop it around, it's not going to be too good at covering water. However, with this rig, what we're looking for is key points of structure where bass may be and getting this bait to them. That could be lay down trees, something in the water that the bass are staging on. And right now in the spring when the bass are pushing up shallow, just beating the bank with it, if you're fishing from the bank, is a great option. But the biggest mistake I see people make when fishing the neko rig is actually overworking it. I actually like to fish my neko rigs on a spinning rod. And the thing when it comes to working your neko rigs is you don't want to shake it too much. Actually, all you want to do is just lightly shake that slack in your line. You actually don't want to shake this on tight line. You see how my line is just shaking, just the slack in my line is moving. I'm not actually trying to move that bait at all. And the reason why you want to fish a neko rig was just shaking that slack line and not shaking your rod too much is once you cast this in front of cover, that little bit of movement in your line is all it's going to go to, and it's just going to slightly move the worm. And that's the big secret to the neko rig. So share this with a friend that didn't know this about neko rig fishing. And what are you waiting for? Get out there.